Welcome to Bookwood. Oh hi, I'm glad you chose to spend some time with me. It's already June and we are already vlogging for the Amazing Readathon. This month I will make 4 vlogs instead of 2 so that we have the time to update my reading journal for each leg. Talking reading journals, the first prompt dropped a little bit beforehand. For us in Belgium, that was on Saturday in the late afternoon. So I used some time of my Sunday to update my reading journal and to add in all the elements for the first leg's prompt. As you saw, the first prompt is for the Emerald City from The Wizard of Oz, and it is read a book with a prominent green cover. And this book is Attenta by Amélie Nothomb. This is one of her books that has not been translated to English. I picked out this book because one, I have picked up all the Amélie Nothomb books in the book boxes around us because I want to read her backlist after discovering her work last February. And also, well, for the green cover, I think it's the only one in all my want to read list that is so green. Comes in handy. So I don't know a lot about this book, only of what is on the back cover, which is that it is talking somehow about beauty and ugliness, and that it is based on an eternal theme. And that was all, but that was enough for me to decide that this was going to be the book I read. I want to take a little moment to tell you about my strategy for Tar, because this is not such a big book and that might surprise you. If you watched my reading journal setup, then you know that somehow at some points last year the Amazing Readathon was stressful for me, This stress found his basis in the fact that I had picked out a lot of slightly too big books, and I always got behind on legs, and I felt very uncomfortable about that. So this year my goal is not to have a maximum of points. This year my goal is to not get behind with the legs. I'm curious about how that is going to go. I did start off well, and I only started reading this book with the opening sprints, and for us that was Sunday night after 8:30 p.m. My kids are a big fan of reading sprints. They like participating with me. I think it has to do with the fact that we all cuddle up on our bed. And so for the Amazing Readathon sprints, they had the right to go to bed a little bit later than usual, and we used the first sprint to read bedtime stories. And then after putting them to bed, I started reading, and I have read like the very basic introduction, a couple of pages, 33 I think, and I met Epiphan, which is the main character. This is a man that is 29, and he was born as the most ugliest man ever seen, or so he says, because this is a book in the first person, and he is telling what happened after the events. So he recalls all of it. We meet him, he lives in Paris, and basically his life is a little bit boring since he was always rejected everywhere, and that things at school didn't go very well. He got quite isolated. The most fun he has in life is to go walk through busy streets and see the reaction of people to his ugliness. And one day he will meet Ethel at an audition. So he saw a little note in a local newspaper, looked at someone making an art film, was looking for a very ugly person to act in this film. So he thought, why not? I am the most ugliest person they'll ever see. Let's go. But he gets rejected, and he gets a little bit of rebellious against the people who are holding this audition, and he gets into a fight, which gets the attention of Ethel, who will be extremely gentle, nice, and totally unjudging with Epiphan. And that's how far I got. So we'll see if I will be able to read more later on, but let's discover the reading sprints first. So we are reading Une fois encore by Amélie Cravat, and it is published in English also, and it's called Again. So now that we know what book I chose and what it is about, I would like to tell you what I had as a first impression of this book. The first thing I saw is that the writing style of Amélie Nothomb is very stable, and in each of the books I have read from her, she always uses a language that is very close to the spoken one and that is very comprehensive. Although she includes words that are more complicated, through the context they just fit in. It's a nice style to come back to. It reads easy. It is, even if she always has difficult topics, makes reading the book quite relaxing. The topic of this book is clearly going to be beauty versus ugliness, and I'm very curious how that will be turning out. Since this book was edited or came out in 1997, this is quite a long time ago, and there was a whole other view on beauty and on diversity than we have now. So I'm curious to see if this book is going to go into cliches or if this book is still relevant at this time. For the characters, I have only really met Epiphan. By the way, his name comes from the Epiphany, which is the 6th of January, and he explains that his parents were not agreeing on his name because they each wanted the name from another of the 3 kings that came to Bethlehem, and so they called him Epiphan, which I found is setting a tone for the more special naming of characters in Amélie Nothom's work. This person seems very interesting. We don't really know much about him. We know how he looks, or approximately. We know how he thinks about himself. We know how people react to his exterior. But I also note that he has quite some higher education and more philosophical thoughts than you could expect from the first person you meet in the street. And also, he has a very particular view on the world that I am eager to discover more. For now, I am really liking this book. This might become one of my favorite reads of this year, but we'll have to wait. Unfortunately, today will be quite a busy day. I am in this early morning feeding the birds that visit my garden after a big rainstorm. And today I will have to go around, do a lot of little things that will not make it easy for me to vlog for you. But after school, when I go pick up my kids, normally I should be like free and relaxing and having the time, if the weather is with us, to go to the park before the school and to have some reading done. It's Tuesday morning. Welcome back. I am happy that I can tell you that I have finished Attenta by Amélie. What a fantastic book. It will be one of the few 5 stars of this year. It is about indeed beauty and ugliness, but then in a way in how our society not only views it, but also the distortion between how we speak about it and how we effectively behave. Like saying that beauty doesn't matter, that the most important thing is how we are on the inside, but then also saying like, oh, if this woman made it to this higher post, then it is most certainly because she is very good looking. And that's so stupid, because it is not the looks that matter, it is the inside. It is also how we keep saying that, but how in love we will still look for a partner that we are physically attracted to before that we effectively get to know who they are. I will not make a very detailed summary about this book. So our main character, Epiphan, we left him meaning Ethel, and he will end up looking for a job. So she will ask him what he does for a living, and he will explain to us that for a while he has lived on money that he had inherited, but now that money is getting low, and he is indeed in a period of his life where he will have to look for a job. We will follow him looking for this job, which will not be easy and which will address some points about how our exterior plays a role in finding a job or getting it or not, and also how he will finally create a job for himself. That was a very funny moment in this book. He becomes basically a model, and he sells himself as like, if you put me like very ugly in between all these beautiful ladies, and then you as fashion creators will see how much people will love more what you do. You have to always go further, or in minimalistic or in maximalistic fashions, to get the attention of people, but with me you will. And he succeeds in that, and he will travel, and slowly his relationship with Ethel will change. She will fall in love, and he will be officially stamped as best friend. He's not really happy with that, of course. And we will follow how their relationship evolves even more when this couple doesn't really function very well. The ending is the result of Epiphan telling by means of a fact. We are in the 90s, right? Ethel, how he really feels about her, and her reaction to that. It will be the summon of everything that has been touched upon in this book on how we deal with beauty in our society. I was a little bit afraid that this book would be full of ideas of the 90s itself, but in fact no, to me it felt still very actual, still hitting the nail on, because it is more about the wider aspects of how we view it than the views itself, and a thinking exercise on how we view our own ideas. If it's translated in your language, I mostly recommend you reading this book. It will leave you a little bit unsettled in the realization that we all make the errors, or we all behave like described in here. The whole book is told by Epiphan, and we know that it is a view after the events, all in the end, that he's telling what led him to where he is now. At the start we don't know where he is now, and I will leave you the surprise for that, because basically this plot line doesn't matter in the way the ideas are developed. So I will try to read this graphic novel, which is The Secret Garden, in reworked by Maud Begon. It looks very beautiful. I saw this at the library when I picked up my bibliodrive. It's a duology, and I thought the images are so cute, and it's a story I love, that I decided to take them home with me. You never know if they could fit for sightseeing. I started off with deciding that I would not sightsee this year, to get some of the pressure off. So I will try to get through this today. I'm not sure if I can make that. I have my kids who are ill, so the 3 youngest are at home. Yes, they are very sweet and quiet, so I can film this, but this will not take long. And we'll see tomorrow if I made it. morning. It is Wednesday, and I saw that tonight, when around midnight for us, the second leg was announced. So I'm going to quickly start up the computer and watch the video, so that when my day is rolling, I can make my or update my reading journal. I prefer to watch it a little bit before, so whilst I am doing my morning things, I can think about how I am going to do the decoration.
At Basgayev, we don't just shape minds, we forge warriors. In order to make it to Basgayev and potentially bond with a dragon, you will need to read a book with a violent word in the title. Good luck, and hopefully we will see you there.
Oh wow, I haven't read Fortwing, but my husband did, and it is one of his favorite series for now. And he gifted me a pack of themed stickers a while ago, so this will be the occasion to use them. I go hurry up and prepare for the day, and then as soon as I can, I will do my update of my reading journal. welcome back. It's Wednesday, and I can tell you that I have finished The Secret Garden in the graphic novel adaptation by Maud Begon. So this adaptation is only in French. It was a nice read, so it retells the story quite good. There are little details that change due to the graphic format, but I really loved the images. To me, when I read a graphic, it is the images that are the most important. I don't read much of them, just because, again, I feel that we don't have enough information on all the events and the characters. Maybe it's also due to my autism, since we have trouble with the recognition of emotions, especially like on faces and stuff like that. So that might help, or that might be something that has an impact on my graphic novel reading. But I think this one is really, really expressive. And yes, it is much so. So if you don't know the story of The Secret Garden, that was Brunhilde. And if you don't know the story of The Secret Garden, we are following a little girl called Mary that lives in India with her parents. This is in the start of the 20th century, so we have still the colonization by India by the United Kingdom. And her parents are people from the United Kingdom living in India. And one day her parents die together with a lot of other people of a disease. And Mary is set on a boat and then on a train all the way back to the UK to meet her uncle, who is the widow of her mother's twin sister. And he is in a very depressive period of his life due to the loss of his wife for a very long time now. And his castle where he lives in is, or his manor is, a very unhappy, sad place. And Mary, who has never known anything else than being served, will have to learn to take a little bit care of herself. She will be helped by Martha, who is a girl who is in service of this manor and who will give some special attention to Mary, which is not always to the liking of Mrs. Medlock, who is the housekeeper that is in charge of everything that happens. And she doesn't like Mary. She is always in a bad temper. She just wished she could get rid of her, which will not happen. Mary will help. Mary will go explore the gardens because that's the only thing she can do. Martha will stimulate her to that, and she will meet Dickon, who is Martha's brother, to who she will reveal her secret. She has discovered the garden of her aunt, and when she for the first time meets her uncle, and she asks him if she can have some land, and she picks this garden, and together with Dickon she will take care of it and will make it a beautiful place. This garden stays a secret. It is also hidden in walls, so it is also physically a secret. And one day Mary will go explore the castle, the manor, because it's raining and she can go outside. And she has heard crying. She has been told that this is only the wind, but she's convinced or not, and she will discover that she has a cousin which is the same age as she has. He's 10 years old. His name is Colin. And Colin is sick. So we will learn that his mother died giving birth to him or short after. And Colin is left alone. His father rarely visits him. He is convinced, it is troubling his father to see his son, and Colin himself is convinced he's going to die from everything. Like the pollen in the air, the sunlight, everything is going to kill him. And we will end this part of the story. This first volume ends when Mary discovers Colin and they meet. I really liked this read, and I finished it just too late. The prompt has dropped, and I cannot submit this book for a sightseeing book just yet. I will first have to read the book I picked for this leg. And for the prompt, a violent word in the title, I have decided to use one of the cards that let me read just any book, because I need to read my Robin Hobb for the Fits Along, and I couldn't fit this one in one of the prompts. We could say it is called Serments et deuils, which translates to oaths and grief and griefs, because it's in multiple. Grief can be violent, but I'm not going to stretch it up to there. We are going to use a prompt card, and this is the second part of the Golden Fool. And with that, I am very happy that this prompt dropped so quickly, since it makes that I haven't read both parts much apart. I am looking forward to going back to this is Duchess to Castle Cerf. This is where we are, to see how the situation unfolds. So if you want to have my thoughts on the first half of the Golden Fool, you can watch my hackathon video in which I talk more about it. In this book, Fitz has come back to Castle Cerf. He is in the disguise of Tom Blaireau. In French it's called Tom Blaireau, in English I don't know. And he serves Lord Golden, so that he has a reason to be at Castle Cerf, and in a secret way he is going to teach Prince Dutiful the wit and the skill. In this first book we will also follow along how the engagements of Prince Dutiful go. We will see the complications and the events that follow out of that, and we will also discover that we are not done with the Peebles. They will certainly come back. They are plotting something, but we don't know what. There have been some menaces going on, so I would like to know how this is going to go. Also, by the end of this first half, we meet some, to me, unexpected. I didn't expect it would be so early, but we meet some people from the Life Sheet Traders books. There is a delegation of Bingtown, I don't know exactly in English, that arrives at Castle Cerf. Buckkeep, I think it is in English. And so I'm very curious to see what's happening. I'm very happy to go back to this world. My kids are still ill, so we'll hope that I can get some reading done today. That will be most probably tonight. And I will come back to you tomorrow to tell you how far I got. It's Thursday and I'm here to give you a little update on how my reading of the second part of The Golden Fool is going. For now, I haven't read as much as I would have liked. I'm only one chapter, that's about 40 pages in. With the kids that are ill, the whole schedule and my whole time organization is a little bit off. This means that I read less, and it's very unfortunate, especially when this happens during TAR. So I'm very worried to see a new leg being dropped before I have finished this book. We'll see if this happens or not later this week, since up till now, and it's Thursday night, quite late, it didn't happen. Let's hope I can finish this book. I do enjoy what I've read so far. We are back right into the book, which is strange when you start a book and it's just like if you have opened a new chapter in one you've already reading. But I must say that in how they divided the English editions in several French editions, it's always cut at a place that makes sense. But we are picking up where we left at Buckkeep, and indeed we noticed that things go a little bit more difficulty with the Piebald people. Also, we see that there is some friction that is indeed growing between Prince Dutiful and Fitz due to some revelations that happened by the end of the first half. And for now, nothing much really happened. And I have been working on my wrap-up video that had to come out today, but that will most certainly not. And it's now time for me to stop working on that, and I will read some more tonight. I hope that I can read a few pages before sleep takes me over. And we will meet again tomorrow to see how things are going. It's Friday and I'm trying something new for my TAR vlog today. So I hope this is going to work out. What you see here is the same area as where I made images, but I think I posted them only on Instagram, of these the lily of the valleys, I think. We call them May bells flowers. At that point, all the ferns were not that high, but we had so much rain lately that everything just exploded growing. And all these white flowers have been appearing and they look so beautiful. It is still quite early in the morning, and I must admit I have not read yesterday after letting my computer and my work and go to bed. I read 2 pages. I don't call that reading. So I'm getting extremely frustrated. And I was hoping that today would be a more relaxing day. The kids are back to school. They are all healed from their, we don't know, whatever virus they got. And I wanted to read today because I have still not made it to chapter 3 of the second part of The Golden Fool. But knowing that, though, I still decided to update you or to take you with me on this walk. We hadn't gone out this week. Well, it rained and we couldn't drag kids with fever, right? So I decided that everything will have to wait until I have had my bowl of fresh air and of anti-stress, because that's what the forest mainly does to me. It's anti-stress. So I hope at least that this sound is working. And then we'll go home and work some more. And who knows if I make it to read a little bit today, I will update you later on, maybe during sprints. So I have not done many sprints this week. Most of them fall like around midnight for me. But today there are sprints at what is for me 4 in the afternoon. And normally I should be able to make it to those sprints. I will shut up now and let you enjoy the birds. Hello, it's already Saturday evening and I am happy to tell you that after the day spent to read, I have finally arrived at Basgaïd War College and I have finished Serments et deuils, or the second part of The Golden Fool. I read like all this today, yesterday evening and today. It's a lot, but it felt like I read it in 5 minutes so much that I liked this book. I'm gonna play a little bit with this light. I have some lighting troubles because we had to change my computer, or our computer, and also the screen, and now the light that I had up there does not work anymore. But hey, it's going to give like this cozy evening vibe. So it felt like reading it in 5 minutes. All Robin Hobb books grip me from the beginning to the start, and I have never been disappointed in one. How can I resume this? So we had in the first part of The Golden Fool, Fitz came back to Bakip. You can find my ideas and resume of this book in my hackathon vlog. And so in this book, we see what happens after Prince Beautiful's fiancée leaves to go back to her own country. We will follow how the creating of an art clan, is it art? A skill clan is going, how they add some very unexpected characters to it, and the events that are that we saw coming with the pea-billed people continue to unfold. it was a part that got my eyes tearing. There were some heartbreaking moments. There were some beautiful moments. It still is, to me, more a bridge than all the other second tomes that I have read from Robin Hobb. But still, also, it feels like we did make a lot of progress in the story. It is difficult to really tell you more about it, since it is like the second book in the third trilogy of this saga. So it's very difficult not to spoil if I tell more. I still love how detailed and real the characters feel. I feel I know them. I feel I could just meet them somewhere. I also feel the world is very real. I have no difficulty imagining it, and when I read it, it is like if I'm walking through it, and if I can almost see it. It stays one of my favorite sagas, and I recommend it to everyone. Yesterday in the late afternoon, we had the drop of this third leg. I was quite frustrated at that point. I know, like, I have like 400 pages, and in my next book, I know when I see the prompt, I know there is 400 pages. I felt so frustrated because I know I am going to be late. So at this point, people know, so we are traveling to the capital of Panem. It's a city from the Hunger Games. I have not read or seen the Hunger Games, so I don't know it. I googled it to have an idea of the vibe for decorating my reading journal. And the prompt for that city is a book with an over-the-top cover. And I'm using the second prompt change or ignore the prompt card. And I'm going to read this book, which in English is called Ravens of Avalon. And it's written by Diana L. Paxon, but the original idea is from Marion Zimmer Bradley. Diana L. Paxon continued writing the series after that Marion Zimmer Bradley passed away. It is a reread for me. That's why I read it in Dutch, since I lived in Flanders when it came out and I bought it in Dutch. This is the hardcover, and it's quite a simple book, and the naked book is just blue with silver lettering on the spine. This is for my reread project, and I needed a book that and I couldn't fit it in any prompt, so I used the card for it. That's why it ends up here, and it is also over 400 pages. So I've started a little bit this afternoon, but I must say that after a day of reading, I am a little bit done. So that's why we are going to make my next week's journal spread this evening. In this series of all books that you can read as a standalone, we follow the whole Avalon cycle, from how Avalon came to be with the arrival of the people from Atlantis up till at the very end, when Arthur is taken to Avalon with the book that is called The Myths of Avalon, that has been made into some films also. And this book in particular is going to be a retelling of Boudica's story. And what is very fundamental about these books is that it is not only a historical fantasy, but in the very beginning, we have a long list of names of all the characters, the places, the gods, the Celtic tribes that are mentioned, and those who have an asterisk are historical figures. So there is a whole bit of historical research that went in there, and it is as close as the reality as this retelling could get. I really enjoyed this reading, like way back in the start of the 2000s. I think this came out in 2007, so that's a long time ago. And I have been already being very gripped in the 50 pages I have just read this afternoon. I'm happy because when I listened to Sword of Avalon last month, I was a little bit disappointed. I had many difficulties getting into this story, and I was afraid that I just with the Trein der Trage that I read last month also, that my memory of loving this book would be destroyed by the rereading of it. But for now, it seems it is not. And before I go updating my journals, I am going to add this book that I read with my children to the Read with My Children list. I am keeping a list of what I read with my kids, simply because in the introduction of this channel, you can see that I wanted to have a family channel talking about reading as a family and with the children. So I keep a list of all the books I've read, all the picture books. We call this an album with my kids, so that at some point I can present to you the ones we liked the most. And I think this one will most certainly be on that list. I have planned this video for July. So in July we will talk about I don't know yet how many books that we loved the most in the first 6 months of the year. That's done. Put that away later on. And so let's head in my journal. When I update my journal, one of the first things I do is go into the calendar in the front. So that's what you see me doing now. And I update the books that I have been reading. There is moments that I forget which color I used. But I didn't listen to my audiobook today, so out in these little dots. But I did start. So I finished Serments deuils and I did start Ravens of Avalon. So I add in the number of the book and I mark it off. Nothing to add there. So I filled in the points I made with my book, and I have already added the prompt, so I knew which book I was going to pick. And here in the front, I have the things I would like to use. That's where this pocket is for. I don't have any specific stickers like for Basgaia at War College, but I found this one. I'll show it here. This one. this is a story. When I did a sticker haul, like maybe in January. Oh, this one has already loosened. I'll take it off. I found this pocket of stickers of a whole lot of cities. And I thought, yes, this is exactly what I need for the Amazing Readathon. And so I bought them. Unfortunately, I will not be using them. So this is a city that I will most certainly not travel to. It's a city that I will most certainly not visit. It's one I don't even know, never heard about. So I decided to tape out the name. And I need to go have a look. It is written in the capital. And I took the name off with correction tape. We'll need to add a little bit. Even more. And decided like to just use the place to write another name. And then we'll paste in my book cover. So the book cover on my little printout is not the same of the edition I am reading. That's simply because I printed out an English title cover so that it would, oh, and I put it upside down. I put in so that on my videos or on my, especially on my graphics that I post on the Discord for my TBR, the title is comprehensible for everybody. So I'm using one of our cards so I can go get them out. And then before I add in these, I can take that away. We will add in or sometimes you will hear my husband. He is playing Final Fantasy, and they have raid evening. And even if he's downstairs and there is a door between us, unfortunately, the sound comes up here. I'll try to edit some of it out, but I'm not sure I will get everything out. So this sticker is from a set that I bought for my December bullet journal. I bought this, I did it about a fairy tale, not very much known one. And I bought these stickers to represent the two main characters of it. And this one, so I took it because she looks a little bit like the actress in Younger Games. And then we have this one, which comes from another set that my husband gifted me. And it made me think of an image I saw. So I Googled the Capitol and the Hunger Games to have some ideas of images. And there came always back this image of a bird with his wings wide open in a circle. And this angel-like creature made me think of that. And so I decided to add in that one. So another thing that we are going to do is add in the different prompts for the sightseeing. So I take the prompts up from this code on my screen, just to make sure to have the right one. And then a book with exactly 13 chapters. Whoa. That's a hard one. How do you write that? Voilà. I did not print off the book cover of The Secret Garden. I did not print off a book cover for The Secret Garden Part 1 as I hadn't got the chance to submit it. So I cannot paste that in. I also did not do the roadblock picture. So the only thing I could have printed off is the little scorecard, but I didn't. I didn't want to waste the whole paper just for that. So I'll do that later. And with this, my reading journal is up to date. Whoa, it's already Sunday, and I'm very happy that we could go on a walk today. The rain has stopped, the children are healed, and everything is still quite wet. So no forest today. We went to do a walk on the edge of forest and field. And I thought it would be great to show you another landscape for once. I have read 1/3 of Ravens of Avalon that I started yesterday, and I am so relieved. The rereading is not making me dislike it. I still love it as much as I remember. Even if I don't exactly remember the story, I remember the feeling it gave me, and it is still the same. The introduction phase of the book is slowly coming to an end. We can feel that the events that will set off the character of Boudica and all she did for Brittany is going to unfold soon. So I will not make a summary of just this beginning because it is not really very palpitating. It is just an intro. So I hope that you are enjoying the fields of Bookwood, and this is where I will close up this vlog. and I will start a new one tomorrow. So I hope that you enjoyed my first week. I am curious to see if I will be able to catch up the delay that I have had arriving to Basgayat War Academy, and I hope that I will make it in time to the capital of Panem. To find out, I'll see you in my next vlog.